Greetings survivors and friends. As you should know if you watched today's update vid, the big news is that Rust is definitely 100% coming to console in 2020, and if you haven't watched it yet then go on, go and see it now and then come back. As I mentioned there though, yours truly was asked to produce a video for the yearly Xbox show, Xboxone 19, which aired today to basically introduce console players to the world of Rust and the sort of experience they should expect when they finally get their hands on it. I'd like to say a big thanks to Patrick at Facepunch for his input and the actors who helped with the footage, Danvi, Horse, Piverin, Newbie and Tish. And so, without further waffle, I can now show it to you. Enjoy. December 2013 saw the early access release of Rust, an unforgiving multiplayer survival game that doesn't want to hold your hand or tell you how to behave. Next to naked and stranded on a remote island, players must brave a beautiful but dangerous wasteland with a history, littered with the decaying remnants of an earlier time. In their struggle to survive here, they'll face dangers from wild animals, the environment, and each other as they compete for resources and personal space. In Rust, there are no rules. The only aim is to survive. Be a bandit or a hero, create a clan and assert dominance, live as an antisocial recluse, or trade with others for profit. It's up to you. From early access to full release, Rust is a social experiment that millions of people have taken part in, and it continues to grow, both in player count and scope, with new weapons, tools, features, and ways for players to carve their mark on the landscape constantly being added. When you first wake up in Rust, you'll naturally have some questions. How did I get here? What happened to my clothes? And talking of which, where exactly am I storing this rock and torch when I'm not holding them? But answers to these questions and more will have to wait, as you have some pressing needs. Hunger, thirst, and cold are all problems that must be confronted head on if you're to survive here. Hitting things with your rock is generally a good idea. Trees and nodes will yield wood and stone, picking hemp gives you cloth, and sticking them all together plants your foot firmly on the first rung of the survival ladder. A stone axe and pick will let you gather resources much faster. Basic clothing helps protect from the cold, and a sleeping bag will give you a place to respawn from in case the worst happens, which it probably will quite soon. Animals can be hunted for food and other resources, just be careful which ones you pick a fight with. Or, if you prefer the vegetarian option, corn, pumpkins and mushrooms all grow wild here. Exploring the island, you'll soon realize that you're not the first or only visitor, not by a long shot. A scientific organization is working here, and the scientists have set up a safe zone where you can freely trade, although elsewhere they won't take kindly to you interfering with their research. Something sinister took place on this island in the past, and the ruins it left behind are ripe for the picking. Though, I should mention that tingling sensation is radiation, so you might want to find yourself some better protection before you go too far into one of these zones. Beside the crumbling roads and underneath the collapsing power lines, you'll discover piles of rubbish, but one man's junk is another's treasure, and in amongst it you'll find all sorts of useful items and components. Soon you'll want to build a base to store all this stuff you've found, and Rust's building system is powerful yet easy to use, letting you construct quickly with a wide variety of modular parts. Build and upgrade your base from wood and stone to metal, from a small cabin in the woods to an armored fortress. The only limits are your imagination and the materials you can gather. Traps and turrets can be placed inside and out to greet unwelcome guests. High external walls should give them a hint as well. Inside you can build loot rooms to store your ill-gotten gains, furnaces to refine metal and sulfur, and workbenches to craft higher tier weapons and armor. In Rust, knowledge is power, and blueprints are knowledge. You start off knowing a few basic crafting recipes, some others you can find, and the rest you must research using scrap. Think of this as Rust's currency, which can be found in loot and sometimes even won at the bandit camp, the home of another faction that lives on the island. Occasionally, a plane will fly overhead and release an airdrop. This is your opportunity to obtain some of the most sought-after items. But be warned, you probably won't be the only one wanting to get their hands on them. PvP is a major part of life in Rust. Players can use spears, bows and primitive guns, various melee weapons, or learn to craft higher tier weaponry. Different types of arrows and bullets are available, including high velocity and incendiary. Weapon attachments such as scopes, holosights and flashlights can also be used. Another important aspect of Rust is raiding, the act of breaking into your neighbours' bases and reappropriating their valuables. Early on, this could involve axes and bean can grenades, but in late game, more effective methods can be used, such as satchel charges, C4, and rockets. The world of Rust is a savage paradise, a land of high risks and high rewards, where expectation meets grim reality in the wasteland of opportunity, a place where trust is rarely mutual, where the past still casts its shadow and offers rewards for those willing to step into it. Welcome to Rust. How will you survive? Well chaps, I hope you enjoyed that. Not gonna lie, it was a definite challenge to sum Rust up in a few short minutes for more of a console audience, but it was a project I really enjoyed. As I mentioned in my update vid, if you have any questions regarding the console version of the game, then please check out the Face Punch link, which will be down below, and let me know in the comments what you think to Rust coming to console. You can catch me on Twitch, streaming 3 times a week, and also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and my Steam group. Links will be down below. I shall catch you all soon, but in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio.